guys joining and new faces as well. So today I'm gonna get going on time today because we have so much to cover with Gabriela. Last time we were almost an hour and a half, even more, almost 2 hours with her. So I want to make the most of it by giving a little bit of a structure of what's gonna be the Fireside Chats this year for Rekonnekt. So first of all, thank you so much everybody for being here, and welcome to the Fireside Chats. One of the things that I prepared today was last year, I had so many people that helped me with the Fireside Chats with so many inspiring stories. So I honored these people, and all of the structure and the presentation I'm going to show to you today, and you're going to see some faces in there, are actually these people that last year made the Fireside Chats real. So let me start here. So I believe that your story matters. I think everybody in this call is already in a capacity to come here and share something that you know and help each other. Like, I love stories, and that's the reason why Fireside Chats are so something so core into Rekonnekt, because it's not just a one-way conversation, it's a way that we have to exchange our experience and our stories. So what is Rekonnekt to start everything? So welcome again, everybody. I'm the founder from Rekonnekt. So Rekonnekt is a community of high performance people. And when I say high performance people, are people that are willing to grow and to learn and to move. Because if you are with us, you're going to be doing some sort of physical challenge or activity when you are in our live experiences. And when you are in our Fireside Chats, I bring the topic of high performance sport as well, because there is so much cross between high performance sports and high performance business. So we connect through movement, growth, and learning. And the purpose of the Fireside Chats is to give us an opportunity to keep connected throughout the year. So with Rekonnekt, we do live experiences across Europe, but because not everybody can go to all the live experiences that we do, having the online component help us to keep connected when the live experiences are not happening. So these are a very, how can I say that in English? Very action-taking conversations that we wanted to have. So last year, we had so many inspiring stories for so many people that I know. And this year, the word that is driving my life this year is action. And I think action equals progress. If we move forward, we know that things are happening, that the next step is coming and the next step is coming. So for this Fireside Chats this year, I'm setting the intention of taking action of all the people that we bring here to share their stories, is to what can we take from that conversation that tomorrow or even today, you can do something that's going to take you one step forward to what you're doing. So stories create change. So this is the format of the Fireside Chats. I have an introduction. Today is a little bit special because it's the first Fireside Chat of the year. But I do a little bit of an introduction. Then we have a 30 to 45 minutes with our guest that today is our amazing Gabriela de Queiroz. She is the former director of AI for Microsoft, former chief data scientist for IBM. She is absolutely legend, a brilliant mind into AI. And last year we had an introduction conversation with her, which was very, very nice, which, by the way, who wants to learn about her story, I have the recordings of this conversation. Just send me a message and I can shoot you the link. So you can, it's very, very good. And so today we are taking action. So we have her here for 1 hour. For you to get 1 hour of Gabriela's time, it is an achievement, team. It is an achievement. So make the most of it. So we want to take action. Okay, so the way it's going to work today is I will ask you, which you can start now if you want, to put on the chat all your questions. So put your name is going to be there, obviously, but put your name in a question, the question that you have. because then B, that is here on the call today as well, our experience and operations coordinator, our new recruitment for Rekonnekt this year, she's going to be collecting all these questions, and she's going to be posting after I start the conversation with Gabi. So then we can get this going and having all your questions covered. At the end of it, if we still have more questions, raise your hands and let's have this fireside chat going. Okay, so in this way, we can start to collect the questions and we can start to organize that to make the most of the time. Lead with purpose. What do I mean with that? Is what I ask for our guests is also, or the person that is speaking in our fireside chat, is to be the authentic self. I don't want to be I want to be far from the corporate space. I want the person to be her and himself. This is the most important thing in these fireside chats, is to have the opportunity for you to know the person of who they are for real. It's not that, that role that sometimes we have to play out of our, normal lives. So it's authentic conversation that we can learn together. And us as a guest, what do I ask? If you have a camera off, please put it on. Let's participate. Unless you are having you are in a place that you can't, I would super appreciate to see you, because that's also gives a lot of respect for the person that is speaking with us. Camera on, come prepared. I had prepared you before to come for this session prepared, and let's take action, yeah? And share. This is not a secret society. So if you like this, if you think that this brought something to you, gave you an insight, an idea, something different, please take a screenshot, take a picture, put on your LinkedIn, put on your stories, put on your Instagram, put on your Facebook, share with your friend. The sharing is so important for what we are doing here. And more, the merrier. The fireside chats are open to anybody. Anybody can join the fireside chats. Yeah. Then if you want to become a Rekonnekt member, this is a next step that you can connect directly with me and we can have this conversation. But the fireside chat is for everybody. So more minds here. Imagine how many people could benefit to have this time with one-on-one with Gabriela today. Because I believe that together we rise. And this year, just to wrap it up I'm trying to speed this up, but it's very important to share with you what's happening. We are going to have some of the themes that we're going to cover in 2026. So we are starting this year with AI technology, which actually we're going to be covering throughout the year. It's not just going to be Gabriela. We're going to have other people here online sharing with us on this topic of AI and technology. Your unique branding. Yeah, so branding as well is something that I think it's huge into who is in business, who is a founder, who is wanting to start something. It's something so important. And I'm bringing somebody that he's doing a campaign in the UK with Mark Cavendish. The guy's a gun. And he's going to be here as well with an hour with us. Anyway, I can go in detail with all the fireside chats, but this is pretty much what we're going to be covering this year. And there is one special fireside chat we're going to be doing, not one, but one topic that we decided to do on the action-taking topic, which are the live masterminds. So these are exclusive for Rekonnekt members. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing a person roadblock or what the person needs help with in their business, in their personal life, whatever it is, that we as a group with our minds can help this person to get out of the stuck and move forward. This is very important because, again, progress equals happiness. And we have the live experiences as well. If you have your phone on your hands, so these are the fireside chats we're going to be having in 2026. Some of the people that are joining us here, some of the people that joined us last year. So we're going to have Marcelo, Gabi, Sabine. Oh, it's so many people. I couldn't actually fit all the people into this page, but this is just to give you a sneak peek what's coming up, and you shouldn't miss out. If you have your phone in your hands and you are curious about the live experiences, just give a scan onto what's going to happen in February. On the back of the World AI Cannes AI conference, we are going to be having a weekend in Tourette-sur-Loup. I hope if Pascal or any French is here, I have spoken it right. So on the back of the conference, we're spending a weekend together to debrief. On the conference, you meet the people. On the weekend together with Rekonnekt, we make things happen. So this is going to be a very special weekend in France. just after the conference. And in April, we're going to have the Garda Shift, which is an event in Italy. Same thing, all connected with an activity, a sport, which is going to be e-bike and hiking. Again, if you can scan, it's a lot of information, I know, guys, but I can send this after. Just to wrap this up, Tio Vita had partnered up with Rekonnekt. You say, oh, Renata, but I need to go to the Decathlon to buy all my gear to go and do stuff with you. No, you don't. Go to Tio Vita. These guys are awesome. They do the most amazing gear. I love them. They have an amazing story. One day the CEO is going to come here to share the story with us because he's just fantastic. They are based in South Africa and they help the local community. They have some stories about sustainability and how they can help the local people. That is just blow my mind. And I love to be associated with people that are aiming to change the world at some capacity. And they are aiming to change South Africa at some capacity. So I love that. So they are offering 50%, a 50-year discount for everybody that is part of Rekonnekt. Come to the Fireside Chat or whatever is connected with us. Just scan this and let's go. And of course, if you are not part of Rekonnekt yet, I think some of you may not be, you can join the Rekonnekt group on WhatsApp. Yeah, there I just post literally reminder for the Fireside Chats, so you get to know that. All right, so thank you so much for being here. You make the difference because without you, nothing of this would be possible. So I want to introduce Gabriela with an AI thing that I found that if you didn't see one of my posts, this is just amazing. I was able to make Gabriela, AI, stand up from her chair. So team, welcome, Gabriela. Sorry for the big introduction, but it's the first Fireside Chat of the year. I wanted to cover a few things. And check this out, team. This is just fantastic. Welcome, beautiful Gabriela. Is standing up from this chair. So that is so awesome. So I'm going to actually kick off the question just so I can catch up with the questions that were posted. And Gabi, my first question to actually, before I start with the questions, please share something, say your hello, welcome everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm so inspired. I love this community so much. I love everything that you are doing, everybody together and rising together. It's such a great mission and I'm so excited to be here again. Happy New Year, 2026, going to be a big year. A lot of like new changes, especially of course around the AI, how we work, how we deal with all the technology that is moving so fast. So we have a lot to cover.
It's amazing. Thank you so much, you, for being here. Gabi, first question, I think that coming from the heart of a founder, if you were starting a company today, what would be the first 3 AI tools you would adopt in the first 90 days and why?
Oh, that's a very tough question, especially because everything's changing so much. I would say 90 days, like 3 months in the AI time is like 10 years almost. Like it's like it's very fast. Like I mean, like 90 days is like one day, I would say. It's like things change so fast. And I don't like to think about tools because like you can migrate very well from one tool to the other if you know how it works. So I would probably go to any tool that it's easy to use. Like if you think about ChatGPT is like the most easy tool that anyone can use because it's like a chat. It's like you are talking to something. Anyone can use. There is no barrier. Even the language is not a barrier anymore, where like a lot of tools in the past, if you had to know how to program, you had to know how to do in English. So you had two barriers. One was the programming and the other one was the language barrier, where right now you don't have even this barrier anymore. So I would start with something very simple. Like if you have no tech background, either ChatGPT or Claude. I would say that Claude is from Anthropic, ChatGPT is from OpenAI. I would say that Claude is doing a very good job right now. Pretty much all of us in the tech industry, we use a lot of Claude. And Claude is also like evolving, and you can do things from like even the company who does Claude, all the coding that they used to write, now they do through Claude. And then if you want to implement anything on your business, then you can use Claude as your friend. If you have questions, anything like this tool is there. But then you can have other tools, like let's say everybody talks about agents. Like how do you create an agent to take care of like something that you are doing over and over and over again? You might need a tool that is going to do that. And there are several tools that we call, it's like low code, no code. You don't need to know how to program. It's almost like a drag and drop. One of them is called NAN, is the letter N, the number 8, letter N. And it's more like you are connecting different pieces. You need to know a little bit, but again, use Claude as your friend to ask questions on how to do it. And even like to give an example, like I would say more than knowing the tools is how do you ask good questions so the tool can give you back good answers, right? And it's not like, oh, before, like I'll make an analogy, like before we, like several years ago, we only had a small set of tools, like let's say Excel. And then if you want to, or Word, it was easy because you didn't have many choices. But I would say it's like stick with 1 or 2 or 3. And then if you need to change, it's going to be much easier. But always try to start with like the one that you are going to be able to use across. So I'm not answering the question on saying like 3 tools because I don't think they are the 3 top tools. I think it changes. I think it's the best thing is like, how do you ask the questions in the way that you are going to get the answers that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's good. Actually, I think this question kind of ties a little bit with the Harvest that ask here. Harvest, did I spell your name right? I hope I did. You can open a microphone as well. Can you create, yes, can you create a framework of the most accessible AI tools to implement, automate current business, and create new business? How can we create AI-driven businesses that solve real problems? And what do you think the most important tools that everyone today should master so that in 6, 12, and 24 months, we can be operators of our own masterful problem-solving AI business? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, I would use any of these tools that it's easier for you to communicate, either through voice or texting, which is like ChatGPT, Claude. It can be Gemini as well. I'm just because I use Claude and ChatGPT the most. It can be Copilot. So like, if you think about, I've just mentioned 4 tools that they all do similar things. It's more like whatever flavor you prefer, and sometimes the interface, the UI. But like these 4 tools that I mentioned, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Copilot, they all have similarities. They all do similar things. They all have the same format where you are chatting, and you can use voice, you can use image, you can use video to interact. But they are 4 different tools from different companies. But if you know one, again, it's plain English, plain Portuguese, plain whatever spoken language that you speak, you can use the other 3. I would say the chat one is the most accessible tool ever. And let me just go back about like the ChatGPT. Why ChatGPT was a revolution was not because the technology was new. We, like the developers, the people in this space, we've been using what OpenAI had for a long time. But the technology was only accessible through a very specific way. Only engineers or technical people were able to use the technology that OpenAI was providing. Once they were like, okay, we want to expand this to the masses. How can we expand this tool to the masses, this technology to the masses? Well, the most intuitive way is a chat. Everybody is using the chat, is texting people. This is the most intuitive way. Like someone that is like 10 to someone that is 70, 80, like they probably know how to chat. So what they did, they only create an interface on top of like the technology they already had. And that was revolutionary. But the technology already existed. Of course, it's been getting better and better and better and better. But again, it's like the easiest way that you can interact with the technology. The other thing that I would say, Harvest, is one of the hardest thing, and I see where people lack a lot, is understanding what are you trying to solve. What is the problem that you are trying to solve? Especially younger people, they don't have the experience and they don't know what you are trying to solve. They don't know what are the issues. They don't know their customers, but they know the technology. So they do the other way around. And usually they fail. It takes a while because they don't have the experience. They don't have the domain knowledge. They don't have the expertise that someone that has been already in the field has. So that's the big difference. So once you know how to use the technology, you go very, very further. And again, 6, 12, 24 months is like very long. It's hard to predict. I think it's like it's like a month. Like what can I improve in a month? Maybe 3 months, and then you take a little bit, and you are going to improve on top of like what you have been doing. I was going to say something that just completely like even inside companies we don't do roadmaps anymore. Like remember, like long time ago, like long time ago, like 2 years ago, we had the product manager, and then we would do like the roadmap, or we are going to be working on the next 6 months, a year. Nowadays there is nothing like that. It's like the next month, the next 2 weeks. Oh, what are we going to be releasing next week? It's like so fast paced. We can't do the prediction like, well, we are going to be working on this feature in the next 3 months because this is going to be the next big thing. It's like there is no like such time, and everything's so fast. What safety features measure should we be aware? Yes, that's one of the things that I talk a lot, and it's kind of like it's hard for me, especially being in the industry, to be very taking one side or the other. So you have to kind of like balance, especially with everything that is happening in the world. And the companies, they all removed the people working on, not all, but a lot of teams were dismantled, that they were working on the responsible AI or AI ethics. And that's a big issue. So even when you are using these tools, remember that it's not a source of truth. Don't believe in everything you read and every output that you get from those tools. And you're going to see, I think you all see, like if you say, if you know what you are talking about and you say, this is not correct to the chat will say, oh yeah, you are right. This is not correct. I'm sorry. And then they go in a different way, right? So one thing that I see, and let me just tell this story about the New Year's Eve. I was with a lot of people that they were not technical at all, but everybody was using ChatGPT. And they were using ChatGPT all the time. Like, oh yeah, last night after our conversation, I went to ChatGPT and then I asked them if they could give me more insights about my intentions for the year. And I'm like, I don't like, be careful. Like, be careful. Like, don't give your whole life to the chat as well. And I say, again, especially with everything that is happening, we don't know what you provide, how they are using it. Now, OpenAI released a good tool called ChatGPT Health, which the intention, and I'm going on a tangent here, but it's important to say, the intention is good. They want to make sure that you have the power in your hands to be more knowledgeable about your health, about the diagnostics that you are getting from the doctors or from the exams. Like, it's so hard for us to read, and especially in the US, to get an appointment and so on. So they created this ChatGPT Health, where you can ask more questions regarding anything related to health. And then you can connect your My Chart chats and all the different sources. And they say there is privacy involved, but like, am I going to give all my data? I don't know. So it's good in one hand that I feel like I'm more powerful and I can come prepared when I go to the doctor, because we only have like 10, 15 minutes. So we need to advocate for ourselves. And I feel like this tool can help us with that. But at the same time, what is the, how do I know, how sure, or like, how can they ensure that they are not going to use this against me? Or that, I don't know, maybe insurance will get this data. We don't know, like, we don't know. I'm very skeptical about those things, because it's so easy for them to say, hey, here's the data, or like, yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. I have one here from Matteo. Gabi, it's where should we go to stay updated on the latest tools, AI tools and technologies that can help grow our business? And then there is another one that follows.
Yeah, I'll go on that one. Again, be careful with the sources and whoever you follow. Sometimes I try to be the bad cop, and then when someone says, oh, there was a study where 80% is going to lose their job, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and there is no source. And I'm like, I don't trust. If there is no source, if someone is saying something where I can't go and try to see if that's true or not, I don't believe. I don't believe it. I'm the other way around. I start by the premise that this is not true. And then I have to go to the source to see if it's true. And I have to go do some research to see if that's true. So I don't believe in anything that I see, unless I go and I read and I have more knowledge around it. So one is where you should go. I would say find people that are credible on social media. That's the source. Or even like outlets like newspapers, or like some tech newspapers, where they talk about what is trending, what are the latest technology. And there are some good people that you can follow that they talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, about the new technologies, what is happening, what you should be using. There are some surveys that are also reliable. And then what else? What was the other question? What tools?
There was is it realistically possible today to run a business nearly entirely with AI? If yes, what tools and system would make that feasible? If not, what parts of a business can be automated most effectively with current AI? And where does human input remain indispensable?
Yeah, so definitely you can run the whole business in AI, but I don't believe that it's going to be only AI without human. We call human in the loop. There is always a human aspect that is going to be either doing some kind of like supervision or tweaking a little bit, but not the whole thing. Like, oh, I'm not doing anything. AI is going to do everything. I don't trust anything that is all AI generated. You need to have human involved as well. And if you ask me, what would be the easiest thing for me to automate in my business, is anything that you do over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's the main thing. The easiest thing for you to automate or to use AI to help you is that repetitive task that you are doing over and over and over again. And when you think about business, it's like, what is the thing that I do the most all the time? And if I implement something that is going to give me a easy win, right? Because maybe you have like several tasks and then you have to prioritize, but which one can you do that is going to give you the big lever or win for you to be making like more money or spending less time and so on. One of the most common use case is customer service. If you think about like insurance or any service where you call and they are answering the same questions, you probably don't need a human to be there. You know all the questions, you know all the answers, you can automate that. But if there is any issue, then you are going to be, routed
to a human
to solve your issue.
Yeah.
Which is also a pain, because like now that all like the customer service, a lot of customer services are using those technologies, and you have to say, and then I always say like right away, I want to talk to someone. I don't say about my problem. I say, I want to talk to someone. So that's the first thing that I say. I want to talk to someone. I want to talk to a human. I don't want to talk to a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's good. Stefan here asked, what measures need to be taken so that people can distinguish AI-generated fake content from real content? My Insta is full of AI-generated content. Will new AI free social networks emerge? People still want the real in the end, right?
Yeah, that drives me crazy. That's like an amazing question. It's so hard to see what is real and what's not real. Especially, I've seen so many things. Especially now AI generated and videos are becoming better and better and so perfect that it's hard for you to tell. So there is, in my opinion, it's so hard nowadays for you to see and kind of like, oh, is this real or not? So you do the other way around. The way even journalists, and I'll tell you a story in a bit, they have to go the other way around. If they see an image and they are not sure if that's true or not, they go to AI and they ask if this was AI generated or not, because it is so hard to know by just looking. And social media drives me crazy, because there is a whole thing now, and it looks like everything is upside down, right? So now there is a whole thing about influencers. Like the more followers you have, the better you are. You have more sponsors paying you because you have a lot of visibility, and it's like this cycle, right? And then I'm generating all this AI content that is driving engagement, and I'm getting more money and driving more engagement. And it's like this cycle of like fakeness. I don't even know if this word exists, but a lot of fake and fake and fake and fake. And then capitalism, it's a mess. And the accounts that I've been seeing on Instagram that have the highest number of followers, usually they have AI generated content. It's almost like you want to see something that is not real. You want to live in this fantasy, because the world is a mess. So let's live in this fantasy. So these accounts that are generating these fantasies is what is driving engagements. And again, I see people talking BS, and then everybody trusts on that BS, and then it becomes the real truth, because they don't know that they need to do their job, because it's so much work that you have to do to go the other way around and to make sure that it's fake or it's real, right? So like it's so much easier for us to believe in what we see. But yeah, so like again, there is no way for us to see this is the AI generated. Of course, like as you work in AI, I know by reading, I'm like, this text was completely AI generated. This image it cannot be true. What scares me is like when there was the whole thing with Venezuela, the amount of images that I saw that was fake, it was very scary. I'm so scared about elections and what is coming with young generations, the new generation. like living this reality that is not a reality. Anyway, I talk a lot about that. So let me talk about this story, Renata.
Yes, go for it.
Which was a little bit viral here in the Bay Area. Supposedly, someone from a company said that the drivers, the Uber, not the Uber driver, but those drivers that deliver food, they were not getting the amount that they were supposed to get. There was a lot of discussion about that. Someone kind of like was whistleblowing the company. And then a journalist was trying to get in touch with this person. And then there was some conversation. They went to this messaging app called Signal that is supposed to be more secure and encrypted. And they started talking. Like this guy was from the company and everything that he was saying was true. And he was making his point to the reporter. And then the reporter was like, oh, can you show me some evidence that you work for the company X? And he's like, yes, let me send you a picture of my badge. And then he sent a picture of the badge. And then the reporter was still like talking to this person. Can you send me more documents of like, so I can understand better what you are trying to convey with this. And then he sent several PDFs, like a company document in PDF to the reporter. And then he was like, this is something is weird. The reporter was like, something weird. Let me double check everything that he's sending to me. And then the reporter found out that the badge was not a true badge, the picture of the badge. And then the whole document was AI generated. So it was not real documents from the company. And then he was saying, it took me so much more time to find that this was not true than the other way around. Like, so he was saying, my work as a journalist with AI, in some ways, it's easier, but on the other ways, it's so much harder.
That's crazy.
I'll share this because it was a big deal on. So there's a lot of like tech people on X, and this whole conversation started on X and Reddit. So two forums where people talk about things. And I thought was very interesting. Like the journalists, they have to do some kind of investigation work to figure out if the source is true or not.
Crazy. Share the link after on the group so then we can see.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Let me go to the next one. So Renato, he asked, he's not here on the call today, but he's watching the recordings. How can leaders reskill their teams fast enough to turn fear of replacement into a sense of opportunity? That's a good question, I think.
Great question, Renato. There are some things that you can't, like you have to go with the flow. Like this is what is happening, and there is no way that we can't be on the same train. Otherwise, we are going to be behind. So as a leader, as someone that's on C-level, etc., you need to understand how things work and keep asking questions. Don't take it as the final answer. Again, I'm going to show and share some analogies. I remember talking to a senior leader where they would go to their employees and say, can you find why there is this mistake over here, or what is happening over here? And then the person would do some analysis and find out what is happening. And then the manager would say, but I asked ChatGPT and ChatGPT is giving me a completely different answer. So your analysis is wrong. And I'm like, no. Please, let me tell you, not everything that you ask ChatGPT is true. And your employee who is knowledgeable, know about your use case, your domain, have been working on this for a long time, has all the knowledge. And you don't trust your employee, you are trusting this machine that is giving some answer. So again, you have to know and distinguish you have to have like some kind of like understanding of like it's not everything's not true. Like trust your knowledge and don't trust the machine knowledge as much. So you need to know how to use, when not to use, and how can you make the best by using these tools, but remembering that mistakes can happen with both humans and machines. Machines are not perfect. Humans are not perfect. It's almost the same thing. You have to double check.
Yeah.
Talk to other leaders as well. I think it's also important for you to learn from others, from someone else's mistake, so you don't have to repeat yourself. And the fear is like, we always have fear when a new technology arises. When the cell phone was invented, there was a lot of like, changes and fear. How do you get up to speed on what is happening? So you don't want to touch because you are afraid, but you have to try. So the best thing is like, try. The best thing that I tell people when you are afraid or you have fear, is try it and get familiarized. And the more you use, the more familiarized you get, the less fear you have. And then you are going to understand, like, how can you use this better in your business? You are going to start thinking about, like, these are the gaps that I have. Maybe AI can help me here. Let me see if that's possible. Oh,
Yeah.
I say, small things.
No, 100%. Just giving a compliment to this, this is where having a group like we have here, right, and having be able to discuss with each other with their own experience, right, is way beyond than just going on ChatGPT and asking the questions. Next one here, Homayon, how smart do you think today's leading AI chatbots really are? When do you think we would get to real AGI? AGI stands for what? Tell me the acronym.
AGI. I never know the acronyms, and and let me.
Oh yeah,
let
you
me
can
say,
open say.
Advanced general intelligence.
Yeah, because do you know why I don't remember those acronyms? Because it's something that is fabricated. So they fabricate something and they think like, we are going to reach there. And now, this was maybe 2023, they were like, we are close to AGI. We are reaching AGI. It's like the machine is going to surpass the human capacity of intelligence. And it was, in my opinion, it was all the marketing to be in place and for them to get to reach the top. And if you read now, even them, they are saying, oh, we are so far from it. There is no way. Even with like everything that is happening, we are so far from it. Where 2 years ago, they were like, oh no, we are almost there. We are almost there, almost there, almost there. And then they are like, no, we are not almost there. We are far from it. So again, the big tech companies, they are not saying that anymore. We are close to AGI. They used to say that more often. I don't think we are. I don't think we are going to be replaced. I still think that humans are so important. There is a lot of things that machines cannot do. And Rekonnekt, and Renata, we talk about this a lot. Like, we are going to go not backwards, but we are going more and more to value the things that we used to do in the past. So we are going to advance technology in technology, but we are going to go back more and more. A lot of us are trying to go back to human connection, to not being on computers all day, to not be on our phones all day, to go back and have the community. And because we are seeing how bad this is causing and making us feel disconnected and with mental health problems. And we are seeing, again, our kids having issues, and we don't want them to experience the issues down the line. So we are going backwards. again, I go in some tangents because I'm a parent, so I see a lot of things as well. One of the trends that are happening now here is like parents getting landline phones for the kids. Landline, like there is this company, I think it's called Bark, and they have like the old phones where they call their friends. It's for free. They call their friends and they talk on the phone, you know. And there is a whole, I'm part of like several communities, but there is one community that is in the Facebook that it's called Parenting in the Tech World or the Tech Era, something. And we all talk about a bunch of things from like, you know, I got a landline and now all the neighbors, they have landline phones and they talk to each other and they come over and we play board games. Board games is coming back. Hey, board games is coming back. So there is these two different worlds. At the same time, it's like my kid is like, oh, everybody in school plays Roblox. And then me as a parent, I've been reading and educating myself to understand what are the issues, and I need to be involved. So it's a lot of work for us as a parent as well. Anyway, so I'm going on a tangent here because it's technology in general. And of course, there is AI because Roblox now, it looks like for you to play the game, they have to scan your face to see how old you are. And I'm like, I don't want a face of my kid stored in your system, right? So there is AI involved in everything pretty much that we are doing. All that to say that there is a huge movement that is going on the other way, back. Like I told you, I think I mentioned this, Renata, last time. I think it was Steve Jobs, that he tried to delay technology on their kid's life until he was able to. Like, you don't need to expose your kids to technology in the young age. They are not going to be behind. Don't worry. They are not going to be behind. Like, let them be the kids and explore the creativity. That is going to be the thing that is going to make them succeed. It's not going to be if they know how to open the computer, program, use AI, all of this.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Well, I have a point, but let's keep going here because there is a few questions still, and we are running out of time. From Bianca, for senior leaders in large organizations, what is the fastest way to move from AI curiosity to real business impact?
Yeah, no, great question again. Think about the things that we are doing the same over and over and over again, because this is usually the easiest thing that you can implement and use AI to help you. It's something that you can automate and you can leverage AI and the technology to help you. That's the fastest way. But also, like, if you don't have anyone in your organization that can do that for you, you can hire someone or contract someone to make your business to move from what you have to the next level. I do this all the time. Like, how can I accelerate the implementation of AI in some parts of my products so I can be more efficient, so I can reduce costs, and I can stay competitive in this market? Because that's true. And again, another data point is, it's so interesting. I've seen companies here in Silicon Valley where they have a very small team and they are making a lot of money because they are AI native. They start the company using AI from the very beginning, which is easier than the other way around. When your company is already established and you have to infuse AI, it takes a while. Of course, there is a steep curve, but you can get there. But it's easier for now these small teams to be doing very lucrative business with a very tiny team. One example is like, I think Lovable. Lovable is one of these AI tools, very, very, very small team. And they were making a lot of money. And now with AI, all of the tools that are make AI more accessible, but you don't need to know how to program. You don't need to know how to write a line of code. You can use the plain language, the plain English, the plain spoken language to create something. It's easy for you to start a business because of that.
Very good. Here is from Sam. Sam asks, as AI native products gain traction, how should traditional SaaS companies rethink both product strategy and go to market to stay relevant?
I would say it's the same. It's a similar thing. Like on the product strategy is it needs to move fast. You have to. The one of the differences, like everything is moving fast. Of course, because of AI, it's moving faster. So you need to release new features faster than before. The cycle is smaller, and you need to keep launching features. And there is a go-to-market. So the go-to-market to stay relevant is your customer will probably change as everything else. So you need to be adapting as you go. And I see like, especially in companies and traditional SaaS companies, they already have their customers. If you think about like let's say some companies, they still have like the same customers. The customers haven't changed, but if you want to acquire new customers, then you have to rethink your product. You have to rethink how they are going to be using your product. What is the market? Who are going to be the new customers? The new customers are changing. Maybe the old customers, like the old enterprises, the old back offices, they are still the same. But there is a huge new inbound of customers that the way that they think is different. So you need to be aware of like what is happening around you. And I like to see what my competitors are doing, to see if I'm following behind, how can I be ahead? And if I'm following what the marketing is looking for. Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah. No, and the last one here, there is one more. The last one I see here from Gustavo. It's the story about replacing jobs, right? I think it's ultimately, I would say that I listen to a lot of podcasts. I would say that 90% of the podcasts that I hear, the thumbnail on YouTube is AI is gonna replace you. AI is gonna wrap your, like, Jesus. And then you listen to the podcast, and actually is not what they're talking about. It's just to get the attention for it to click and go, and So I think that if you go there and put the most listened podcasts around the AI, it's all around this. So ultimately, it's a good question, right? Oh, actually, every question is a good question. So, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm laughing because I was laid off from Microsoft in May. I was the director of AI, and then the amount of like news and people on social media saying, "Oh, the director of AI was replaced by AI."
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. My job, there was no way that AI could replace. There is no way. But it's all about selling, right? So as Renata is saying, it's like we need to sell. We need engagement. Everybody's so addicted to engagement. Everybody's so addicted to view because that's how people are making money. So even though I'm not talking about AI replacing jobs, I'm going to put on my headline, 90% of people are going to lose their jobs, and very generic. And then when you go and read, it's a very specific like thing. It's like, anyway, so AI will replace jobs. Definitely. It is replacing jobs. Jobs are being cut because of AI. But new jobs are going to be created. There is a whole new demand of like new jobs that are going to be created. we are in this still. Another interesting thing is like companies, they lay off a lot of people, and then like several months later they open the same openings, the same role description, the same job that the people had, these people that were laid off, and they rehire because they realize that we needed that person or that role. So it's kind of like crazy. How come they laid off all these people and they are rehiring a bunch of them? Some of them are going to be because of the costs. They are hiring outside the US, and that's true, but it's the same job function outside US, so it's much cheaper. It's not because of AI is replacing, but they are going offshore to find those people. And what else?
Here, Harvest, what do you describe as chat AI tools, and is this the same as vibe coding?
Vibe coding. Yeah, so the chat AI tools is not the same as vibe coding. Vibe coding is when it's not. Vibe coding is like you want to create a website, for example, and then you start talking with another tool, and you are going to be coding, but using this tool to help you. The chat can help you, but it's in some ways, but they are not going to be helping you and creating you a website. It's going to help you like, oh, you can use this code and paste over there, but it's not going to going to be within the same chat. The chat is almost like your coworker that is helping you, brainstorming with you, saying this is right, this is not right. But the vibe coding is probably going to be in a different platform where you are going actually to be building something. So there is a Lovable, for example, that I mentioned is a tool that we can create websites, for example. You can create other things, apps. But you can generate a website and it can be live on the internet today in a few minutes. So you're kind of like vibe coding. So that's the difference. The chat is not going to be providing you much the vibe coding, but it's going to help you with the walkthrough or some of the resources. I'll share some vibe coding tools.
Hey, that's a hands-on. Gabi, tell us a little bit before we wrap it up in a few minutes. What are you doing right now? Like what had happened since you left Microsoft? And give a little bit of context also here to the group of what you're doing now and what is your focus on since you left Microsoft.
Yeah, so when I left Microsoft for the first time in my career, I knew exactly what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to work for a big company. It was too crazy, too much going on, too much politics, and things were moving in a such fast pace. It was crazy. So I knew that I didn't want to go to those big tech companies. I knew that I wanted to do something by myself for the first time and take the risk. And I decided that I wanted to work with startups as a consultancy or as a contractor, and that I wanted to go back and teach as well. So I've been working with startups on helping them on the AI strategy, helping them on the go-to-market, especially for startups that are developing AI tools or tools for developers. It's a very specific audience. It's like my audience is like developers. So I'm working with them with go-to-market, AI strategy, and then something that I do enjoy because it's a mix of like technology and human connection, which is like what we call developer relation or evangelism or developer advocacy. That's what we've been helping them. How can you get to where your customers are, the developers, and make sure that they can understand your tool and they use and adopt your tool or your capability. And then I'm teaching on the teaching side, I'm teaching professionals through this course, this platform called Maven, I'm helping product managers, mainly product managers, business owners, founders, on how to use AI on their role. So I talk about tools. They learn how to do some the NAN, the AI tool that I mentioned. They create an agent. And then I talk about Lovable. I talk what is behind the scenes. How do you incorporate your documents into a secure environment? How can you bring ROI back to your company by adopting these tools? So that's what I've been doing.
I think we should know more about your course.
Yeah, I'll share the link.
Share about the link before. Team, anybody has another question, you can actually just open a microphone and ask Gabi once we are heading here to the end of the conversation. Enjoy this time to ask. There is no stupid question. I actually have a heaps of questions here, but I want to give a chance for anybody else that wants to ask a question. Actually, one of the things, if anybody, please, just put the raise hand here while I just wrap this up with Gabi with my last question, Gabi, for you, which is, where do you see AI creating the greatest unfair advantage for small teams versus large corporations?
Unfair
advantage to small teams versus
in small teams. It's easier for you to evolve and change, make mistakes and then go back. It's the cycle is faster and easier, and you can make more mistakes and you can learn and then you can incorporate and move. Where on the larger teams or corporation, everything goes through layers and layers. So the pace of innovation it can be slower. Even now, it's still like slower because you need to get approved, and depending on the organization that you are in within the larger organization, you need to go through layers, and you can't innovate as fast. The other thing is, like, in a small team, and I'm talking about small team as thinking about startups, you can use whatever tool works. You have more flexibility. When you're in a large corporation, there is a lot of tools that you cannot use. At Microsoft, there are a lot of tools that I would go to the website, it was blocked. If I use the tool, a warning would pop up in my machine saying you cannot use these tools. So I was pretty much only using Microsoft tools. Everything else, I couldn't. So for me as a professional, I felt like I was a little behind and so Microsoft focused that I didn't know what is happening much outside. And then because of the type of work that I was doing, I need to know what the competitors were doing. So I would have to request a special, not treatment, but a special license or thing for me, so I could access our competitors. So I could use the competitors to see what they were doing. But in general, I could not access any competition or any competitor tool.
Very interesting. I have a question here. Emma, go for it. Just unmute, please.
So this is a kind of question, kind of downstream as opposed to upstream. So we've spoken a lot about the application of AI in a professional sense of how it can be applied in business terms. What about from an educational sense? We're talking, you mentioned before with your kids, how you going kind of back to dumb things and, we're getting a landline, but the prevalence of technology in schools, like, is amazing. Like, it's a resource that is used prolifically. Textbooks are gone and there's other resources. What about, like, how do you see that in terms of it being a primary source of education. Like the teaching comes from AI, not the teachers. Kind of how do we balance that?
That's a great question. And it's so hard because I'm the opposite. I don't think AI should be. I don't think teachers should be replaced at all. But you can use some resources. It makes sense, but not like changing completely. And inserting the kid to be on computer all day and talking to this machine. And, even if the studies say, oh, but they are learning better and faster. And I'm like, sure. And so what? Like, what about all the other skills that they need to develop to survive, and the resilience, the flexibility, the adaptability? They are not developing those skills that are so important for us, because we don't know. We as human, we don't know what is going to happen. Like, maybe AI it is the big thing. It's going to change everything. But then I feel like they are temporary skills, not skills that are going to be essential for you as a person. So I have a hard time, to be honest. Every time I see, there is this new school in this place where there is no professors, there's no structure, you have your computer and you go to your computer, but also like, they are trying to balance. I've seen the same thing. You go to your computer, but you also have more free time, more free play time. So I don't know. I'm skeptical. I need to have more, even like more data, and it needs to be less, not biased, not influenced by capitalism and money. I really, talking about people to follow, there is one professor that I'm going to share here. I really like him because he tests and he tries all the products. He's like a beta tester for all the products that comes out, but he has the education approach. And he talks about like how he had to change the way that he teaches to follow the trend, but at the same time, what are the things that he needs to put in place to be able that the students would succeed. I really like him. He's one of my favorite ones because he's not like a technologist per se. He's a professor. I'm going to share here because, yeah.
Gabi, is there any question that we haven't asked you that you thought that we should?
It's like
in your knowledge, sometimes I think this is my feeling having this conversation, not just with you now, but in other occasions, of course, of all the times that we've spoken, is when you work with that thing, which is technology and AI, you are so into it that your life, you want to be the reverse of that, right? It's like that you have so much of that then, the opposite is how you're going to live, right? So then for us that eventually don't leave AI at the level that you do, or technology, some of these things are useful, right? But because we don't have even the depth of knowledge that you had by seeing how things are developed and how it can be harmful, right? So I don't know, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you have seen that we are not across, that is hype, that people talk a lot and you say, it's like the job thing, right? That we see all these thumbnails and we click in there like, oh my God, I'm going to get redundant tomorrow. And okay, it wasn't about it.
Right. Yeah, that definitely. There is a lot of hype. Don't believe in it, in everything you see. Don't. Double check, see the source, go and read it. Prepare yourself to be knowledgeable, and don't trust everything. Don't trust videos, don't trust pictures, don't trust whatever you were reading. They are creating, again, different tools where all the sources are curated, vetted, and you can trust. And I was going to say something. Yeah, I'm like, I have almost like two identities. I have the identity, like the professional work, and I have a completely opposite identity, which that's where I met Harvest. We were in a retreat it's all about connection. A whole day, it was amazing. All about connection, all about feelings, all about removing what doesn't serve you anymore. So it was the opposite. And that's how I think, like, I survive, and I'm in peace with myself because I do both. I do something that it's here and something that on the other hand. And I'm completely against a lot of like the technology because I know what is happening behind the scenes. I know how capitalism works. I know that these people are making tons of money and there is no guardrails, regulation. We are so behind. And also because I have kids, I'm always thinking about what is coming. How is this going to affect? And I'm seeing a lot of like, again, mental health problems. And it's going to be hardest and hardest for us to help the generation if we don't do anything now.
100%. How old are your kids, Gabby?
3 and 9.
3 and 9. 100%. I met a friend this weekend which has a newborn. So you imagine what the life of this kid's gonna look like. We were actually talking about, she's supposed to be in this call. She's certainly gonna be interested on the recordings. What the life of this kid's gonna be like, right? He's 0, 2 months. Felipe here asked or shared some of the digital ID companies are trying to develop tools to deal with the verification of videos, etc. Right? For instance, I visited Verif in Estonia last November, and they mentioned that. There is a tool that actually you can clear the stuff that is coming from ChatGPT. I think it's called AI Clears. So it takes like the hyphens and the can not, the stuff that you acknowledge that the text was done by ChatGPT.
Yeah, and here's a problem. It's so much harder to create something to block or to, to verify. It's so much harder and doesn't make money. So what is the incentive that that company will have? That doesn't make money. It takes forever to create. It is so hard. It's not as, you cannot develop as fast as on the other side. So unless you have regulations and
but
right?
can I compliment? Sorry.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, thank you, Gabriela. My point is related probably to the fact that the digital ID companies, sorry, they are like Único, like Verif. They are being paid to verify if people are real, right? So to a certain extent, it's already part of the business they are into. That's my point. So I would say, at least my gut feeling is that to a certain extent, there's a business to be developed there. And those companies probably have an edge, have an advantage to at least you could say that they could be early movers in that direction. Because my impression was that they're already looking into that.
Yeah, but if you think it's like not something for the masses, it's probably like something for government, something for very specific. So it's not going to be as lucrative as OpenAI, as these tech companies.
I see.
And there is they exist. They are needed. A lot of business they need this. They are going to be implementing, or they need to buy this technology to help them as well. Otherwise, it's only spam, scams, and etc. I used to say something. We are going to pay for privacy. Like in the future, I used to say that a few years ago. Like, let's say, because we give our data to everyone, everybody, all the companies, they know everything about us. Believe me, they know everything about you. And we are going to get it to a point where we are going to buy privacy, and they are going to have like different levels of privacy packages. Oh, you want just like, people to not know your name or age. Okay, your package is X dollars. If you want to have a private package that is going to completely remove you from the whole world and your package is going to be that amount. I think that's a business that will come in some time. which is the privacy part.
You know, this looks
Yeah.
like the virus and the vaccine, right? So you have to create the virus, so then you can make a business with the vaccine, right? So it's like, let's create AI, and now we need to solve that problem that we created by telling people that, oh, that was a problem we created, we didn't know, and then they make money with it, right? So it's like,
Yeah, well, Renata, just to jump in, it's like cigarettes. Like
Yes.
cigarettes exist. There's money to, like, the cigarette companies make most of the money. Sure, the Nicorette companies, there's still a lot of money to be made there, but it's never gonna, like, you always need an anti, but the anti's never gonna trump the primary. Like, you're gonna make money, but you're not gonna make more money.
Exactly. Go for it, Felipe. I love this.
No, I was gonna also ask Gabriela if you heard about a company called Drumwave, talking about data. They are trying to monetize data on behalf of the users that help. I mean, because in the end, data of the users is what is creating the product, and people and companies are making a profit out of that. So the idea is to create a wallet to remunerate the users to a certain extent. I read a piece of news, I think 2 weeks ago, in which they're starting focusing on Uber drivers right now, because that's something more specific. They have some pilots, I think, going on. It looks like an interesting view, in my opinion. And I mean, of course it's hard to change the industry, and there's a lot of incumbent interest, but at the same time, it's also part of the development, as you said. But it's I would suggest taking a look.
Yeah, I just found it. So they say your data is money. Own, save, exchange, invest, and even pay with data. I don't know if that's the company that we are talking about, but
yeah, that's it. Yeah. I think the founder is in the Bay Area as well, but he's from Brazil. Yeah.
Of course, Brazilians invent all the crazy stuff. Even pay with data. That's crazy.
I'd be happy to connect you with one of the executives. He's a Brazilian. He used to work in the Endeavor as an executive at Endeavor. Mateus, he's a nice guy. Also, if you're interested, I'm happy to connect.
That's awesome. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's always great to know what people are doing. And another thing that I would recommend, I don't have the report here, but OpenAI, I think it was later last year, they shared the reports on like what people are using ChatGPT for, and it's so interesting to see the numbers. And the majority is all about health issues. All the questions, like the majority of the questions. Anyway, I just want to, again, Renata, we can keep going, but I just want to say, use it, but be mindful and don't trust everything that you see.
That's awesome. I put on the chat the link for our WhatsApp group. Felipe, I don't think you are there. Maybe if you want to join. Gabriela is there as well. We can share a little bit more stuff in there after as well. And I have also reminders of events and stuff, so you can definitely be there. Actually, all of you can, but I'm just for the continuation of the conversation. Team, I think we have to wrap it up. It's already 7:20 here, so should be already almost coffee break for Gabi here there in your office. Thank you so much for this conversation. We can go on and on and on with this. It's just so interesting. Gabi's in our community. Hopefully we are going to do something together this year or maybe next live.
In the Bay Area.
In the Bay Area. So everybody's going to need to travel to the US.
And Harvest is in Napa in the wine piece. So Renata, so we have another person.
Awesome.
We have an outdoor connection to get our feet planted in the earth and touch some grapevines and remember to remember who we are and what we're here for.
I love it. That's absolutely all we need. Harvest, join this group as well, huh? So then I can connect with you and we can get this organized. I think it would be beautiful to do something like October or late September. And then we can do our USA Rekonnekt launch with Gabriela and Harvest. That would be awesome. In the Napa Valley, we have other people here from the US. Amy, you have to connect with her. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We can be here for hours because that's the purpose of the Fireside Chats, is to spike these conversations and to have these exchanges. Let's keep going. Join the WhatsApp group if you're not there yet. And we're looking forward to seeing you in the next Fireside Chat. And that's going to be in 2 weeks. So not the following week, the next with Sabine. And Gabi, thank you so much again. Yes, for your time, for everything that you are providing to our community. Having somebody like you with your knowledge, it's like amazing. And I'm very grateful to have reconnected with you, literally.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. And